Well, hey, good morning. Hey, everybody. This is Justice's waiting room. Oh no. Oh no. It's like, why? Why am I being forced to watch that? Alright, live. We cannot go live on. It looks like it's down. Going live on Skylight. So let's see if we can go. If we can go live, we can go live on TikTok. I guess we'll just do that. Although I really don't want to do that. I really don't want to be here. Hmm. Yeah, we're not gonna do that. You said we weren't gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. Nah, let's go ahead and be a man of our word. We said we weren't gonna do it. I didn't technically. It never clicked over to one, so we technically did not go live. But you gotta have some principles. You gotta start somewhere. It takes a single person has to make a decision. You know what I mean? We grew a big fat audience on TikTok. We can do it elsewhere. It's better to have principles uh, than to just have numbers. Them numbers ain't paying my bills. It's not worth it. Beck, Gab, Bob, Deb, morning. All right, so listen, every morning when we sit down together, sort of a sub theme to the show is music, and we've decided as a group that the opening song "War" by Edwin Starr. It's good to. It's a good thing to spend your energy as a human being. It's a good thing not to not be pro war. Like I can't fathom being one of these war hawks, one of these people that conflict is desirable for you. A lot of people have a big misconception. A lot of people have a big misconception about, for example, the Marine Corps culture. Um, it's kind of funny, but it's true. It's a bunch of Wolverines and a bunch of Hulks. That's the Marine Corps infantry. If they're if they're under 6 foot tall, they're like 5'6" to 5'8", 130 to 150 pounds, and they will rip you in half. And if they're not little bitty guys, they're massive people and insanely strong and athletic for their size. I regularly used to brag about. I had a boot lieutenant when I first got to the fleet. He was a complete prick, but he had played power forward in basketball. He was like 6'6", 250. You know what I mean? Like he's a big fucking dude. He used to play basketball and just dunk on everybody. And think about like in the weight room, in the pool, on the road running every single day, marching regularly, and hate it. Hate it. Okay. So, as someone who was on active duty in the Marine Corps infantry during a time of war, the only thing that a Marine loves is that shooty shooty bang bang shit. That hair raising, fucking absolutely balls to the walls, 100 mile an hour, flying by the seat of your pants, ass kicking. It's just is what it is. Ura semper fi, do or die, all that happy shit, right? But the thing about it is that you hate it. The culture is that you hope to God that you never have to fucking use it. And like the fucking craziest shit about being on active duty in the Marine Corps infantry is them teaching you about what they used to do before they had to fucking invoke the Geneva Convention on our asses and say you can't be fucking doing that. And for the record, if you wondered, it was too graphic to even describe. But the shit they used to teach the Marines, they had to stop fucking doing it. Okay? I'll never forget that. Motherfuckers were afraid to hit each other in McMap because you don't want to hurt your fucking fellow Marine and take them out of fuck you could in their military career. You kick somebody hard enough, you punch somebody hard enough, it's over, right? Guys didn't really want to hit each other, and they had to teach us about op tempo and about understanding like the speed and how serious you take like a practice rep versus and they what they did was they encouraged us to like play sports outside of work, like play softball or football or volleyball or basketball with some with a physical component and play with that level of physicality that you can't exert onto your fellow Marine because you'll fucking break each other, right? And they like took us into the woods and one of these gunnies came down and said, "This is the way we used to do it," and they fucking stopped it. And it put it all in perspective for you because you were like, I will now work up to I'll try to push the boundaries of pushing my fellow Marine to try to make them better. Um, because Jesus fucking Christ, the way we used to do this shit is a little too animalistic, and at least now we've got some structure and discipline and fucking form, so that you can actually survive a fight instead of basically, um, what's the nice way to say what we used to do? Turning someone into a vegetable if they survive. Mm-hmm. That's what they used to do effectively. Mm-hmm. So, I made my video this morning because I noticed something, and I'm the kind of person, I'm that guy. If I see something and I want something to change, I will poke at it until it changes because I get irritated. So what I noticed is that even the video yesterday from Washington D.C., not everybody has a firearm. Now, that tickles me, and it also like unravels the entire operation for me. First of all, um, not everyone has a weapon. Not everybody has the same weapon. Not everyone, I'm guessing, drew their primary. And I haven't seen videos of people of color with firearms in uniform. So, now I have seen some content from some people that are apparently part of the Natty Guard talking about how we know we're out of our lane. Everything that we're doing so far is a lawful order, and we will not obey unlawful orders. We know our job, right? Um, and as I've said before, I'm not worried. Sorry about that. I got clothes in the background. I'm not worried about people being ordered to draw your weapon, go to the ammo dump, get ammo, load your mags, because like, I want to continue to point out that's two stops on the way to the range. I'm just making sure you know. And they tell you how much ammo to get out so you can go to the range. And I want to continue to point out those two buildings are not that close to each other. The armory is like right over by the barracks. It's a stone's throw from my it might have been two stones throws. It might have been two stones throws from my barracks room. And I lived yeah. Yeah, I lived on the second floor. So it's down a flight of stairs. But two stones throws and I could be at the armory drawing a weapon in no time. And that's how it works. Okay? But that gun is worthless unless it has ammo in it. And it's actually it like weighs up weight has weight to it. And this is the other thing. Miss Stacy hit the nail on the head. Okay? They're picking up trash and hanging big pictures of Trump on buildings just like South Korea. Okay? But yeah, want to make sure that we stick our nose in here and say, hey, not everybody has firearms. My question would be, if not everybody has firearms, should anyone, right? Uh, if not everybody has drew firearms, specifically, why is that person here that did not draw firearms? And then if they sent people, okay, if they sent people to um, Washington, D.C., that cannot draw a firearm for whatever reason, should they have gone? And here's why. I'm about uh, order, right? So if one person draws their weapon, everyone draws their weapon. If one person takes out their primary, everybody gets their primary out. And that's a problem right there, Jared, is that they didn't draw big guns. So I'm guessing everybody, all them National Guardsmen are just 11 Bravos. Just a regular grunt. No offense, 0311, same thing. And they just, if you can draw primary, draw primary. If you want to draw secondary, draw secondary. First of all, that's not order. That's not everybody. That's not uniform, right? I I gotta have everybody has their primary or no one does. Everybody has a fucking sidearm or no one does, right? And the fact that there are some with rifles, some with pistols, and some with none, this shit is a fucking clown show. It's all foobar. And my fear, here's my fear, and so I want to make sure everybody gets their perspective in order from someone that was actually on active duty during a time of war and has some perspective. And I also worked armed security for like a decade when I came home. My fear isn't anything other than negligent discharge from someone that got weapons, got ammo on their own, loaded their weapon on their own, and it goes off on its own. I'm worried about NDs. Hey, what I'm worried about is a panic, negligent discharge resulting in a reduction of rank and a loss in pay and a big public shaming. And if you hurt someone, I mean, a single round can cause hearing damage, which is enough for a fucking lawsuit. And the last thing we want, again, this is somebody that was like in the service and still thinks there is some honor in service left. The honor is, stopping your buddy from doing something stupid, catching the guy that's, you know, stray wolf or lone wolf in it, trying to fucking go off on his own and shit, and never lets shit pop off. And I'm outside of an ND. Again, I've never said I'm worried about somebody that leans right, getting a hold of ammo and starting to unload on people. No, those people don't fucking serve. Sorry, those people are fucking batshit crazy and aren't in the military. Okay, people are a lot simpler than this. They don't put firearms in people's hands they don't trust. Good to go. So every the only issue I really would have is somebody getting butt stroked with a rifle or pistol whipped for assassinating somebody. And so it's that whole John Locke. I don't know if you guys have ever heard me pontificate on this, but John Locke wrote he's one of the founding fathers. The right to extend your fist ends at another man's face, right? And so I worry about those people that are protesting in DC. Obviously, I pray for their safety, right? I hope they're safe and shit. Same thing for the Natty G. I don't want nothing bad to happen. But here's my thought process is that you ain't got no bullets in your gun, and eventually they're going to get too close. And again, you could hit someone with the butt of your rifle and that could be the end of your career. So do you see like how they can't even protect themselves with their firearm without it potentially ending their career? So why even, and again, you have to think about this. You have to think about this. When I was on active duty in the Marine Corps Infantry during a time of war, and what I learned was that we're not numbers. We're all wildly more powerful than we could have ever fucking imagined. And it's really about like capturing, harnessing, and utilizing every individual's power and getting them to perform to their maximum capabilities. And when we work together, even as like a team of five, and we all have like the same goal and mission, and we care about each other equally, and we're like rooting for each other and shit, we get some shit done. Like a stat. Good to go. So yeah, and he was trying to flirt with what's her name the whole time. Apparently, he was trying to flirt with Pam Bondi for like 3 hours. Um, so yeah, to the I wanted to point it out today. I'm poking holes in this whole thing and saying, hey, not everybody's got a gun. And because not everybody has their weapon, no one should have their weapon out. It's about uniformity. It's about you want to be unified. And if not everyone's got a firearm, everyone's got their sidearm, everyone's got their primary, then no one should have it. And I hate to be like that because like they did send Marines to fucking Miami, they did send Marines to fucking LA. I want to continue to point out they've stopped that shit. Just so we've we've said it. They they stopped that. So we are live on YouTube and Twitch, and what we'll do every morning is we'll check out Skylight because we want to start going live on Skylight. I think that's where we'll be, right? Yeah, yeah. And again, when you see them picking up trash and shit, and they're bored, these are good outcomes. What it kind of shows you is Donald Trump is again weak and powerless, weak and fucking powerless. Um, he can send in the National Guard. They couldn't even get 2,000. Couldn't even get a battalion per city. It's more like a company. Can we talk about Hakeem and what the speculation is? Yeah, we could talk about it. Hakeem Jeffries is a major recipient of AI PAC, and it probably fell to him as like Speaker of the House to talk about inconsistencies in the 2024 U.S. election, and he bit his fucking tongue for $1. Do we have any other questions? Because I don't have any. He sold us out to BB. Remember, every person that takes $1 from AI PAC is a person that would protect Benjamin Netanyahu. That's 100 elected Democrats. Mm-hmm. Morning. Don't you love how I break it down and make it all simple? Is being 23 a problem? No, I was 23 running. Yeah, like he was supposed to speak out. He did not. He did that for $1. Think about his fiery speech on the floor where he says, "Don't question my loyalty. Don't question my loyalty." Don't you remember that? Remember that? Yeah, I like to keep it simple, stupid, because I'm stupid and I need to be. I need stuff to be very like, oh, he's a major recipient of money from AIPAC, as are 99 other Democrats that you don't regularly see speaking out about a fucking genocide in Gaza. And look at the recent video of what was that? I think it was a staffer like chasing down Hakeem Jeffries in a hallway, and they're like, "Aren't you ever going to speak out about the genocide in Gaza?" And he was like, "Never." Or some shit. And he got in an elevator and had this real look on his face. And I want to continue to point out, like, Cory Booker, right? In that photo with Bibi in the back, like, right? Don't question my loyalty to Bibi. But yeah, he got paid. He was supposed to do something and he didn't. He acquiesced. Yeah. So it's as much as Donald Trump's a traitor, the Democratic Party is deeply fractured. And the reason that it's fractured is because there are factions within the Democratic Party, and it will become the dominant political party in the United States. And God damn it, I sit here every day and host a live podcast where we discuss news and politics. I have the kind of resume you need out of someone that is the founder of a major political party. Someone that I don't care about the fucking money. I don't, not trying to make money here. Um, I want everyone to have healthcare, education, income, and housing as a baseline. I want to see more people pursue endeavors that enriches their lives rather than enriches some corporation's life. I want to encourage more people to own your own business, be your own person. You're going to make the same fucking money, no money. You're not going to become a fucking billionaire, so why cheer for them? Right? Why cheer for a team you can never be on? Right? We need a political party that is not going to mince words when it comes to things like DEI. It's DEI or get the fuck off the stock market. That's what I think. DEI or divestiture. That's a great fucking slogan, by the way. DEI or divestiture. hmm Either you can adopt DEI initiatives, affirmative action, equal opportunity type shit, or you can go out of fucking business. Um, People said they feel like more shit's trickling out. hmm U.S. orange juice shipments plummet. Tropicana, Tropicana, $14 a fucking half gallon. Isn't that a word? Am I saying it wrong? Is it's divestiture, right? Yeah, yeah. DEI or divestiture. Yeah, that's a great fucking shirt. That's a great fucking shirt. And here's the thing about being beholden to another country, right? I am beholden to none but the US of A. I think I don't want an elected official that's willing to take money to take on the interests of foreign countries. Here's what I woke up to this morning. Russia, North Korea, and China are talking about actions against us. The U.S. is planning to bomb Mexico. The U.S. sent troops to Venezuela. The president's got troops in 20 cities, including the nation's capital. Do you see how it kind of feels like Donald Trump is setting us up for failure? Our enemies are plotting. And our president's also like pushing troops to these places. It just seems like whole global war is almost imminent. And I think that it's all a big dog and fucking pony show. And actually, this lawsuit and the incoming shit that Donald Trump's gonna have to deal with for the rest of the time he's in office is gonna kill him. He won't make it, man. He won't make it. He's not gonna make it. He has no power. Listen to me. He can't even get bullets in their guns. Can't do it. He can't make them do it. He doesn't have the power to do that. And you think about what has he wanted? What does he want? He wants a fucking police state. He wants martial law. He'll take anything he can get to keep from being held accountable, and he cannot keep it from happening. It's almost like the UCMJ is standing in his way and daring him to break that as the commander in chief. And I'm not, keep in mind, when I say I don't know if that's treason, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. I didn't stay in a Holiday Inn Express last night. I'm just a man with an opinion. I think him giving aid and comfort to the enemy by giving Vladimir Putin COVID testing machines quantifies as treason. And somebody in my comments said that's humanitarian relief. It's actually not. It's not treason. It's humanitarian. Like it's approved. He had to get approval to do that. It's not. You know what I mean? But yeah, my advice is every person that takes money from AI PAC needs to be replaced, and every person in the Republican Party must be replaced. That's two-thirds of your elected officials, and stat. And it has to happen yesterday. And I'm just sorry that we haven't already done more. You know, I'm trying to set an example for the future that you have to have a very public founder of your political party who has their thumb on the fucking heartbeat on what's going on in the world, right? That can stay up on shit, that can keep a socialist mentality, and it can hold the ideals, right? That I'm not beholden to private equity. I'm not a capitalist. I I'm not gonna sit and debate motherfuckers like shouldn't we have a financial ally in the Middle East that's also a democracy in Israel, and it's like yeah, right up until they commit a genocide, until they intentionally starve people. Free Palestine every fucking day. Yeah. And also, if you live in the United States and you voted Republican in the last decade or more, in the last 20 fucking years or more, and you think former conservative is the title you want to wear, just know that your party is bought and sold to Russia, to the motherland, all the way to the top, and that it's gonna die. It's gonna die. Donald Trump's going to die. There's no one in that party that has the level of charisma and pull that Donald Trump does, and it just dies. The whole Republican Party is no longer interesting. I'm telling you. They're going to fade into fucking obscurity. We're going to be in a uniparty system, and then there's no fucking progress because everything that Democrats do is performative. None of it is actual law, hard coded law and shit, right? Be careful what you read in a book unless it's the Bible, which is insane because there are so many different editions of the Bible, and literally every verse of the Bible has like 39 different ways that that was written. Yeah. David Hogg was asked why Hakeem beat around the bush on supporting Mamdani, and David Hogg told us straight, it's because of Israel. Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right. In a one of the most bizarre moves I've ever seen, Cracker Barrel, who recently changed their logo and redesigned their fascia, changed it back after online backlash. So, talk about a big waste of money there. Somebody's getting fired. So, a little bit of stars and stripes this morning. Who's that? I was like, who's when the Dems are whining? What? Here's a NBC News article about how Doge put social security numbers and other data on a risky server. I blocked them. So, obviously, anybody that calls himself Mr. Perfect, right? By the way, Israel military strikes on Gaza hospital targeted a Hamas camera without providing evidence. Um, and I saw Bibi yesterday saying Iran will have nuclear weapons capable of striking the United States. And I want to continue to point out my entire life, my whole life, they have used the threat of other countries developing nuclear weapons as a means to starting wars, and it's absolutely fucking crazy that there's like 10 people, 10 countries that have nukes, and it's just like, what the fuck are we doing? What is this stupid shit we're doing? I don't understand. Not only no new wars, but like this shit has to stop. These people need just real real talk just need to get brained in public and replaced. Like, we used to topple regimes. Like, I hate to be this guy. There's a reason I can never run for public fucking office. The first thing I would do is kill Bibi and kill Putin. And be like, now what, bitch? Now what? In a sudden turn, the United States suddenly starts hunter killing all of its enemies. No mercy. What the fuck are we talking? The United States moves in on Ukraine and fully supports Ukraine's push into Russia. Oh, Ukraine now owns all of Russia. You want to play a game? Let's play a game. You know what I mean? I'm not the person to be in charge. Not the person to be in charge. You want to talk about using military assets? Mm-hmm. You can talk about warning people to get the fuck out of Tel Aviv before we turn it into the Gaza Strip. Do you understand? I ain't playing no fucking games. No. If you're barbaric and you're like starting unnecessary conflict, that's who you move in on. That's the global good guy that we were always trying to be, and we couldn't. We were having problems turning the fucking corner and trying to figure it out because we're imperialist and expansionist and ultimately kind of fucking racist. And again, I want to continue to point out that the basis for a lot of what's going on right now is racism. Like in the entire relationship between Russia and the Republican Party, that's their like handshake, bro. That like we constantly, growing up, we constantly talk about like uh, people um, cozying up with Russia. Like that's the racism is the handshake. Oh yeah, fuck people of color. Hell yeah. That's their that's their Russian and Republican. They go and racism. That's triple R, right? Hmm. Yep. That's why it makes so much sense that uh, Russia was able to move in on the Republican Party back as far as 2000, 2000, 2004, 2005. Uh, Russia said, or Vladimir Putin said 20 fucking years ago that racism was a cornerstone of the U.S. Russia relationship, and then what is his name? Not David Duke. There's another guy, can't Palmer maybe, that said he was a major contributor to the rise of the sort of the racist Republican right. He said the path to success for the Republican Party in the West was racism. Yep. I would make companies public utilities. I think things become monoliths, and the government should buy those things and own and regulate those things. Uh huh. According to like our laws, right? Like, I think things like Facebook and Twitter are, and Amazon is like our public market, right? It should be a public market instead of a private marketplace. It should be a public. Facebook should be public. You shouldn't have a private Facebook. You shouldn't have private Twitter, right? You should have public Twitter, right? And I think if you don't have that, then you should build it. Build something that could be a utility. Think about great investments over the course of history. Things like the Postal Service, a great long-term investment, something that is still fucking here, right? Still, it may not be as profitable as it once was, but holy shit. And here's Donald Trump uh, doing what extremely wealthy people want to do, which is take the focus on extremely wealthy people and put it on trans people, which is another small group of people. And so again, here's Donald Trump trying to distract you from the fact. Yep. One of the reasons I stopped being a sports journalist was because I got caught up writing about about gambling, right as they allowed gambling on uh, sports. It became like a big thing. Players are starting to get suspended, and I was like, I would rather be a coach than write about. Yeah, it just didn't feel good, right? It felt kind of greasy. Um, so I decided I'd rather be a coach instead. You know what I mean? Holy shit. 14 people were arrested in the largest Home Depot theft ring ever. Yeah, capitalism ruins fucking everything. Is the lesson that everyone should learn. It sucks the fucking fun out of everything. Um, Life was better before daily fantasy football. Life was better before they started letting everybody gamble on sports. Because I am a gambler. I am a card player, and I don't like to bet on sports. I'd rather be a fan. 6+ hour flights are a bitch. It takes 6 to 9 months to make it to Mars. And there's no reason to go to Mars. Under pressure from Donald Trump, Michigan medicine halts gender affirming care for trans youth. Capitalism ruins everything. Yeah. The 20-year veteran that burnt the flag in front of the White House that got arrested has been released because the act of burning the American flag. First of all, the stupid shit that I can't stand are people that get bent out of shape about flag burning. Let me explain this to you fucking dum dums about burning an American flag. Jesus fucking Christ. First of all, it is the proper method of disposal. If throwing it in the fucking trash were the fucking proper method of disposal, you wouldn't be talking about flag burning. But I want to continue to point out that that's the preferred method of disposal. And so getting upset at people burning the American flag, that's what you're supposed to do when you are disposing of it and you have no further use for it. Also, you are supposed to burn it if it ever touches the fucking ground. And it's considered disrespectful to do so. So, if you're gonna get bent out of shape, it should never be about the flag burning. It should be about why is that flag touching the fucking ground. It's not supposed to. Right? You aren't supposed to drape yourself in the American flag and fall asleep at night. Right? It's not supposed to touch the ground. Okay? So the if you're going to get upset, you should be upset about the flag touching the ground, not it burning. It needed to be burnt if it touched the ground. The question is therefore why? This is a 20-year army veteran protesting this government. Oh, they were exercising their Second Amendment or their First Amendment right. I'm sorry, I misspoke. I was on a roll there. Um, they were exercising their First Amendment right to free speech, which says that you can do that without reprisal from the government. So the stomping on the flag is an act that falls within free speech, completely legal, especially once you understand the circumstances. And then getting bent out of shape because he burned it just makes you fucking stupid. Solved. I served so you can burn the flag. It's your right to do that. I don't want you to burn the American flag because I like this place. Not because I don't want you to express yourself. I want you to hold the flag up high and be proud. It's just really hard to do that when you don't feel like you live in the representative democracy that you were supposed to live in, right? These people are not capitulating to our interest. They have taken their own interest on, and we need new elected officials. There's a reason I get on here every day, talk about the news, talk about what's going on in the world, specifically about politics within the United States. Here's the Democrats flipping the Iowa State Senate seat, which breaks the GOP supermajority in Iowa, which kind of makes me think about that pollster, Anne, and how she was probably right. Yeah, I mean, something to understand that it can still be considered disorderly conduct to set something on fire in public, which means he's probably getting a misdemeanor for public disturbance. He can protest that and refuse to pay it. Here's Caitlin Dre. Hey, it's a white lady, so you know you gotta hope she has her shit together. Here's Republican Mike Collins caught on a hot mic saying Trump is in the Epstein files. You know what? I think we should just start calling these things the Trump files, and we should be looking to know if Epstein is in them. Trump says people might want a dictator 2 days in a row. Remember, if he says something for 2 weeks straight, it becomes true. This is how you brainwash people. Yeah, thank you, Hot Mike, for your service. Gavin Newsom is giving Donald Trump absolute hell on the internet, and I'm for this. I want to continue to point out that a 29-year-old Latina girl is giving Donald Trump hell on the internet. I just want to make sure that we say it right. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. See, here's the headline I saw that I was like, ew. Apparently, at this cabinet meeting yesterday, that where they were all glazing Donald Trump, apparently Donald Trump was trying to flirt with Pam Bondi. Uh, Doge dumped social security numbers. So, hey, if you're getting a bunch of phone calls, Al Green will no longer represent Texas's ninth district. He's going to represent Texas's 18th district. And so, hey, if you live in Texas, we got to get us a socialist in office there in Texas. Got to get somebody that isn't a bigot, that's pro union, that wants everyone to have universal health care, education, income, and housing. What is he even saying? We're all going to need new socials when this is done. That was funny as hell. Young voters who swung right are already regretting it. Hey, you know what I saw yesterday that made me fucking laugh so goddamn hard? Because listen to me. I get on here every day, host this live show, talk about the news, interject myself, interject my politics. I have fuck it. We started. I often have to remind myself. I already did the most important thing I'll ever do in my life. I came up with the American Socialist Party. We playing this thing out. We got a little bit. We got a platform. We have a foundation of an actual political platform that doesn't exist in the United States. None of these political parties that exist in the United States are chanting pro union talking points that can point to the positive effects of collective bargaining, of the union, of the effective, positive effective unions. Um, when I was growing up, my parents, I think my mom knew my dad was a piece of shit. And so my mom would put me around other adult men that weren't pieces of shit. And what you would come to learn is, oh, he's in a carpenter's union, he's in a plumber's union, he's in a HVAC union, right? The people that had their shit together were teachers union members, right? When I was in high school, or actually before I was in high school, I told you my mom worked at Miller's Mary Manor, a nursing home, and I frequently spent a couple hours before and after school if I didn't have other shit going on at the library, which was next door. And I had teachers that used to come in there and teach class and do stuff. And you'd find out that that opportunity came to them through the teachers union who needed somebody, and how there was actual compensation, but it wasn't seen at, you don't really see that as compensation, but that's what they're doing, is paying you to be there, right? You don't get those sorts of opportunities without a union, to do that, to fuel your income, to help you pay off your debt so you can be debt free one day and retire, right? Which is like, that's the American dream, by the way, is to own your home and not have to work to live. That should be the American dream. Gavin Newsom is surging in the 2028 primary poll. So unless he meets an unstoppable force, I think Gavin Newsom's the 2028 Democratic presidential nominee. And what I think is that I don't even know his politics. I don't know who his running mate is. And automatically, I think there's a better choice for president. And that whoever the Democrats run out there is getting their ass beat. And that I just think there's somebody better for the job. Somebody like a Zoran Mamdani, hmm that needs to run as an American socialist, hmm as part of the American Socialist Party. And again, Democrats flipped that seat in a district Donald Trump won by double digits. Here's the Democratic National Convention votes down overwhelming popular position calling for an arms ban to Israel. Okay? And I just think that I want someone with better politics to challenge Gavin Newsom. Somebody that says abjectly, sure, fight fire with fire, but also let's enrich people's lives and make them better. Because constantly sit around tilting on the internet is not actually moving the fucking needle, right? We need great change now, you know? It's a shame when you really think about it, okay? Remember, it's still racism to me at its core, but it's also sexism. Hmm. This is a 90-10 issue within the Democratic Party. Democrats overwhelmingly do not support the continued financial support to Israel. 90 to 10 within the Democratic Party. The White House uses a disgraced doctor to declare Trump healthy. This guy, Raichal, who gave up his full medical license and stripped of his medical rank. Republican senators sound the alarm on Donald Trump's step towards socialism. And I want to make sure that we point out that Republicans are upset that Donald Trump decided to buy 10% of Intel, calling it socialism. And what I'm saying is this should be what we do in this country is that's what happens when you become a billionaire. Is we the government buys your thing, turns it into a fucking utility, and now everyone gets Facebook ad free, Twitter ad free, free of whatever the effect of capitalism would otherwise have on it. And it's the town square. And Amazon's an open market, right? Now, are these things that are likely to happen? No. What's more likely to happen, what's more realistic, Jared, is the rise in the ranks of unions and in terms of what is important labor, what is important for the way you spend your time, the way you spend your life is it's again like I said yesterday. We had a pretty somber uh, time together yesterday. Remember that it's gonna get to the point where he shits himself in front of everyone and they pray. Sorry, Gabby, you completely threw me off. They glaze him so much it's gonna get to the point where he shits himself in front of everybody and they're all like, "Yay! Look, Donnie pooped." UTC said, "Oh, I'm done with Israel. I've been done with Israel. I actually never started with Israel. I was never on Israel's side. When I was on active duty, um, I went through a combined arms exercise for the 26 MEU, and I did their workup. And then I got to go on the boat for a little while, and they held me back so I could get surgery on my shoulder. And I recently hosted one of my friends from while I was on active duty for like 5 days. Put him up in a hotel downtown, and we had a conversation about what happened on that deployment. And he explained, as I'd heard, that they trained with Israeli special forces, and that even Marines from 2nd Battalion, 2nd Marines Weapons Company, well, I was in Weapons Company, but 2nd Battalion, 2nd Marines were appalled at how barbaric the Israelis were, to the point where, and the whole reason to tell the story this way is because remember how I told you that Gunny had to take us into the woods and show us what they used to fucking do? The shit that the Israelis were doing was even more barbaric and a put off. It actually put Marines off, where they were just like, yeah, it was kind of like, what the fuck are y'all doing? And they could shoot pretty good too. Their snipers were pretty good. You know, but playing like war games and shit and fighting and shit like that, like they're just they're very barbaric. And we say barbaric. Keep in mind they teach them to fight with billy clubs and riot sticks, right? Um, Even in the most combat deployed unit in Marine Corps history, even they were taken aback by the depravity of the Israelis. They were just like, "What the fuck?" And that was a long fucking time ago. Like dictators of the past, Trump is building his own private army. White House is raging at Trump's health crisis. Uh oh. Epstein survivors are holding a press conference holding a news conference on September 3rd. Uh, Put that on your calendar. By the way, I don't. In the last 24 to 48 hours, I heard that a former Trump victim said that Epstein used to record Trump, like record him raping children. National Guard called in to deal with a crime emergency are now picking up trash, and by the way, none of them have firearms. I want to point this out. I want to point this out. Hegseth ordered them to carry, and they're picking up trash unarmed in front of the White House. Everybody should be more like Lisa Cook, who said, "Fuck you, Don. I'm not stepping down. You ain't firing me. Fuck you." Good for you. Good for you. This feels like the last gasp of a dying party. So it ain't just Donald Trump that suck ass. It's Janine Pirro too, failing 3 times to convict someone of assaulting an officer. Anti-Trump protesters plan massive Labor Day demonstration. So just remember, protest, boycott, and strike. We live in the age of information, so protesting and boycotting and striking are a lot different. Here's the way I think about it. If you no longer fucking use something that you once used all day, every day, for years of your life, for me, it was social media. Facebook, Threads, IG, WhatsApp, Messenger, Twitter. Maybe not all of those, but I used most of those websites all day, every day to do everything forever. And don't fucking use those things anymore and probably will never. You could call that a boycott. You could call it a protest. Hell, you could call that a strike. But when you look your oppressor dead in the fucking eye, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos and say not only no, hell no, I'll go to Blue Sky, I'll wait for Skylight or Neptune to drop, right? I'm not gonna be beholden to fucking TikTok. We started to go live on TikTok today and I said, nah, I said I wasn't doing it no more. I'm not doing it no more. Yep. And the reason that I did that was not to draw you to me, was not to draw you away from what's really happening. It's because those things are toxic. The same thing as these mainstream news outlets that are not holding people accountable and are. And I want to continue to point out that half of the people that are elected officials in this country believe that the end of the world is going to come when they sacrifice 5 red cows that were bred in Texas and that are now overseas. And they're going to sacrifice these cows thinking that it's going to bring about the end of the world. I want to point out how that's not in the Bible and that feels like a satanic ritual. And also, I think that should be the death of the Republican Party. These motherfuckers are on drugs. Hmm. Yeah. TikTok's going to be way worse next month without the guidelines. Yep. There's a reason that I just went away from TikTok on the whole. Hmm. Now, I will be working on Labor Day, okay, because I am an anti-capitalist and I want everyone to stop paying their fucking credit cards. Okay. That said, join a union if you haven't done it already. Okay. There's Work in America. That's a union I joined. And then, hey, check out 5050.1. Workers over billionaires protests. Need that on a fucking t-shirt, by the way. Workers over billionaires. Yeah, I was really late joining too. That's why I'm not connected to it at all. But yeah, check out 5050.1. Check out indivisible.org. Get involved actively in protest, boycotting, and striking. So make sure that you understand that in the age of information, if you were once using Facebook like all day every day to do everything and you all of a sudden I deleted that from my fucking phone. I don't even every now and then I go to see if I have any DMs. Like I have a fantasy football league I've been in for a long time and it's like a little $20 league that I won last year. I'm the by the way, I don't know if anybody knew this. Oh, Mister for the recipes. You know what I've thought about doing, Stacy? I've thought about cooking. Like I used to cook all the time. Uh, but yeah, I understand the draw to TikTok, but I just think it can be replaced. Skylight could just directly replace that. Blue Sky could just replace Twitter for me. Hmm. It was that easy. It was a mental thing for me. Like just once the switch switches, it's like, oh, well, don't have to worry about that anymore. Let's see. Okay, so this is how fucking tax dollars should never be spent in a million fucking years. Okay, again, I'm not saying that I'm gonna change my mind on running for public office, but this is like a reason I would. You know what I would not be doing? I would not be painting over a sidewalk again after protesters painted it rainbow colored again. I'm not wasting government money painting over that shit. I don't care how you feel about how other people live their lives at all. And if you do, you need to mind your motherfucking business, bitch. For real. That's the main problem we have in this country. Because I like TikTok, or not TikTok. I like Blue Sky. It easily replaced Twitter for me. Because here's Washington Post article about this veteran. And think about the shitty part about TikTok is it's like pro Russia, pro Israel, um, pro Russian, pro Israel, anti free speech, homophobes. What I say? What did I say? I think he's losing it. I think he's losing it. I think he's losing it. I think telling these countries to respect me, saying I'm the president, I can do whatever I want is such a fourth grader. Zoran Mamdani proving politics can be fun. Here's a former Illinois National Guard saying National Guard troops can't actually work in concert with law enforcement legally. Hey, look at this. I mean, some people just look like rape. Rape's the only way they could procreate. If you just will look at Exhibit A, Alex Acosta, unfuckable, rape apologist. You ever notice this? The case against Kilmar Brego Garcia Is a study in sadistic absurdity. You will respect my authority. Right, right. A little South Park reference. Who knew? Here's a Missouri farmer telling a Republican representative to take their head out of Trump's ass. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Civil rights advocates are filing a lawsuit saying this shit is racist to the surprise of no one. I didn't tell you like shit is racist. Denmark summons a U.S. envoy over a report on covert American influence operations in Greenland. Number of American men have attempted to conduct influence operations. Working to shift public opinion and push Trump's desire to make Greenland a part of the U.S. Self governing territory of Denmark, by the way. Trump has repeatedly stated he wants to annex Greenland. So keep this shit in mind. Blue states that sued kept most of their CDC grants, while the Republican states didn't, and they just lost the money. So, yep. And keep in mind, Donald Trump is ensuring the destruction of the Republican Party by the systematic destruction of the Republican Party by means. I mean, the leopard eats face party eats leopard face like every fucking day. Donald Trump called Governor Pritzker fat. Governor Pritzker said it takes one to know one. Governor Pritzker won, Donald Trump 0. Donald Trump is going to try to normalize having troops in American cities. Now, here's the thing, Pritzker's a big boy, too. When you're a narcissist, yeah. Oh, by the way, we didn't. Oh no, it's not till tomorrow anyway. Today's only the 27th. Tomorrow's 20 years from the day I shipped out. Pretty big day, right? 20 years later. Researcher who has distorted voter data appointed to Homeland Security election integrity role. Donald Trump's being trolled for going full on North Korean when he. Yeah. I was looking for my Marine Corps hat and I couldn't find it, and I thought, well, today is not the day then. Today is not the day to wear it then. Tomorrow is. But I will wear it is. Here's an interesting lawsuit. Democracy Watchdog sues for files on Trump Epstein relationship. That's good. The Democrats have got to get better influence. Like what is influencing them are they have like thought leaders within the Democratic Party that are telling them to like don't talk about Trump's military takeovers. What the fuck? The Democratic Party is so cooked. Like I'm telling you, one of the things that I fail to do, right? Because I'm here every day, I'm consistent as fuck. Is that I fail to spread the word effectively, and I have to get better at that. Like you use the tools and use the things that I've learned. Um, I'm just like a 0 or 100 person. And I think that I can show up every day and I can deliver 90 minutes. But beyond that, like all the other things that normally you'd have to do, is such an exhausting endeavor that I couldn't work a full time job and do it. So I got to get better, slash, we got to get better at just spreading the word, bringing people to us. Starts with me. Donald Trump, uh, I believe a couple weeks ago, the story came out that Donald Trump, this regime, sent letters to FEMA and has made FEMA act as ICE. Keep in mind, the problem that ICE is having is recruiting. No one wants to be an ICE agent. And again, you should quit. If you're an ICE agent, you should quit. Hmm. You're 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 pretending. They don't have real bullets in their guns. They don't have judicial warrants. They've just got administrative warrants. These are in-house warrants that aren't standing up in court. My fear out of all of this is that Kilmar Brego Garcia is going to die of a broken heart for the just continued anguish that this administration is putting that man through, all because they were wrong, right? This is the narcissists fucking their Achilles heel is them admitting that they're wrong. Added goat milk, that helps. Green tea bath for dogs with itchy paws. All right. At least we got a plan, right? Oh, by the way, so I got paid $10 from TikTok. It got sent to PayPal the other day, and I don't even know how long a time that's from. But I saw a knitting cult lady say she makes all that content she makes, with her trying to sell her book and shit like that, and makes about $10,000 a month off TikTok. But I mean, I make more money than that, but I'm glad that she does good. So Donald Trump is trying to destroy environmental regulations, which is sort of something that Ronald Reagan was doing. Look at this shit. An anti-ice protest in a rural Pennsylvania coal town. Hey man, hey man. Uh, Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh chapter for the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Don't you like that? Don't you like that shit? Protest at the Moshannon Valley Processing Center, the largest ice facility in the northeastern United States and considered the most inhumane. Fuck yeah. Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania, stand the fuck up. Framers wanted the house closest to the people. U.S. used to be a haven for research. Now scientists are packing their bags. Here's a Nation article. Graham Plantner, Maine oyster farmer, going after Susan Collins. Did 4 infantry tours in the Marine Corps and the Army. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. He's a fucking hard charger. Graham Plattner. Good luck and Godspeed. Shut the fuck up. Donald Trump's old caddy, Dan Scavino. This is how you know this motherfucker has no friends. His fucking caddy is gonna head up the office of personnel. Ah! The presidential personnel office is being headed up by Donald Trump's former caddy. America's relationship with Israel is a moral hazard. Here's foreignpolicy.com. N- no fucking shit, says someone that was never pro Israel. A lot of people have not seen a lot of film, I'm guessing. Alright, we've been on here 90 minutes. Y'all have a fantastic hump day. Let's get out of here with a little bit of Eat the Rich. Okay.
FanDuel's dropping profit boost every college football Saturday. So how do we spread the word? I got it. We boost our plus with rockets and fly to tailgates everywhere. Get a profit boost every Saturday with FanDuel. Plus, new customers bet $5 and get 300 in bonus bets if you win.
Nothing really changing but the date. Learning how to relate. Oh, you got the right key, baby, but the wrong key. Oh, yo. Alright. Have a good one. See you tomorrow.